Can you tease any characters that will be back, or no? We're not doing that yet.
I think.
By the way, by tease, he means give them a hard time. Really
Just poke at people. I'm like, no. I think we've got some cool characters coming back, both in our world and in the Apocalypse world. So that's the fun of it. Is we've got some people coming back, like Missouri Mosley's going to come back for us for the first time in a long time. Obviously Jody will be back for us, and some other people like that. And then in Apocalypse world, without getting into spoilers, some people who have been long dead on our show are less dead in Apocalypse world, and much different characters. It's not as dead.
That's
levels
exciting.
of deadness.
It's more injured.
Yeah.
That's promising. So my phone number hasn't
That was
changed.
shifty,
Just FYI.
Andrew. Very shifty.
We're talking about a show that has been on since half this room wasn't born. I mean, we're going 13 years into a show. And the thing I think that makes Supernatural special in the world of television, for not just us who are involved with it, but also for you folks who watch it, is that it continues to reinvent itself. It continues to be interesting, tell fun stories, tell engaging stories that are emotional and connect with the audience. And that's all, if I may say, driven by the fabulous performances of you two gentlemen who continue to do outstanding work. Misha came along and slowed it down for a while, but now he's gone. And we can get back to the business of making quality TV. So for your journey,
This joke is not funny anymore.
this is the best day of my life. But if we can be reflective for a moment about, and Bob, you've been with the show since its beginning as well. So the question's for all three of you. Season 1 to now, how has your experience been, and how has your relationship with both the show and you, in your case, Jensen and Jared, your characters, how has it evolved over this long period of time?
That's an easy question. How was the last 13 years of your life?
Great, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Thank you, good night.
Thank you. Good night. That it is hard to speak quickly about the experience that we've had. Obviously, it's the longest job I've ever held, and I guess one of many things that I love about doing this job is that we're never doing the same thing twice. Every day is a new experience. We're telling different stories. There's new characters to introduce and old characters to finally get rid of, and
It's that kind of crappy acting that got you fired.
It's been wonderful. The experience has been great. We've had our ups and downs. We've had great seasons. We've had maybe not so great seasons. It's an ebb and flow, but I think through it all, it has been wonderful, and I'm very proud to be a part of something that's lasted this long.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with everything he just said. I think for me also, it was kind of specifically, and it's difficult for me to identify the chicken and the egg. Not that I would even know which came first anyways.
Well, one is a bird.
There's some one is
and the other
little Twitter
doesn't
thing.
really move.
That's right. Got it. That's what it is.
Glad to help.
No, it's a. But Jared was a lot. Jared and Sam were sort of similar season 1, in that I was like, man, this is hard work. Like this is difficult to be up in Vancouver. I had no friends. I was living in a hotel room. We didn't know if we had a job for more than 2 months because we hadn't been picked up for a season. We hadn't even really aired yet, so we didn't have any. We didn't have this family, which is badass, that we have now to support us. Yeah, and there was nothing. Twitter didn't exist. I don't mean maybe it existed, but it wasn't like, oh, well, I'm getting support from my friends that aren't here.
iPhones didn't exist.
iPhones, that's right. Came out like season 1, right? I know, Jesus. Love you back.
So crazy.
So gradually, as the show has gone on, both Sam and Jared have realized that this is life, and life is pretty great. It can have its ebbs and flows. To borrow what he was talking about, its ups and downs, its good days and its bad days. But it's wonderful, and to look out here after 13 years and see how many thousand people jumping around and dancing, and Kansas is here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I met my wife on the show. We have 3 kids.
Right.
She's here somewhere. She's somewhere out there.
Same.
But it's changed a lot.
Stop touching
Can I
me.
add one thing, even though I wasn't there at the beginning? We were talking on, I know I'm new and now I'm gone, but we were talking about this on Friday. Someone asked us about a question about sort of the eventual demise of the characters and the end of the show. And Jensen started talking about a vision that he had had, a dream that he had had about the demise, about the end of the show, and about Sam dying. And the amazing thing about it was when he was describing this dream, the 3 of us kind of got choked up because we all know these characters so well, they're so a part of us that we have actually sort of taken them into our own emotional family, if that makes any sense. They feel real to us. And so the thought of Jensen as Dean losing Sam is actually like heartbreaking, which is kind of amazing. And that could only possibly happen, I think, with a show that's been running for this long.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
And Bob Singer, one of the great consistent through lines through the whole show has been the voice and talents of Bob Singer, who's been writing stories, directing episodes since the show started. And for you, you worked with Eric Kripke, then you shepherded in Sarah Gamble, Jeremy Carver, and now Andrew Dabb as showrunners, and you have been consistently there guiding the show. How has your experience evolved over time, and has that been, because you've done it seamlessly from the outside, is it challenging to be sure that those voices stay consistent while also bringing in their own flavors to the show?
Well, I think like all of us, we didn't expect it to go on this long. My hair was dark when we started, and it's not anymore. Working with Eric was a real gift to me, and we hit it off right from the beginning and had a wonderful working relationship. Eric had his 5-year plan and left after 5 years, and I was not sure whether I wanted to stay. The next 2 years were a little difficult for me. Again, not sure I wanted to stay. Then Jeremy came in, and Jeremy and I co-wrote his first script on Supernatural, and then he went off to do something else, and we brought him back. But throughout it all, it's always been, this ability to keep the show fresh. That if we felt like we were doing something, retreading something, no one involved in the show had any interest in doing that. Andrew, what year did you come with us, Andrew?
Season 4.
Season 4. So when Jeremy left, a rookie, a newcomer. When Jeremy left and Andrew inherited the mantle, I must say that I thought last year and so far this year is one of the most fun years I've had doing the show. Working with Andrew is a real gift. And so, I'm still enthused about the show. If I wasn't, I wouldn't do it anymore. But yeah, so it's been a great ride, one unexpected, but great, yeah.
That was what was remarkable when I went back at the end of season 11, and you go up a couple times a year to direct. Like the enthusiasm is all still there. The writing is still 100%. And these two, you guys are doing work that I'm like, wow, it's season 11, 12, 13 of a show. You think people are phoning it in. You're absolutely not phoning in. That's why it's consistently great.
Let me just tell one story that I think really crystallizes the relationship that everyone has in this show. I was directing an episode, I can't remember which one. We were going to do a scene with Jared and Jensen. About 30 minutes before we were supposed to shoot the scene, they come to me and they say, I think we should switch parts. I think what's written for Dean is actually should be Sam and vice versa. And I said, really, guys? Now you come to me with this?
I think we had already blocked the scene, and they were lighting it. And we went to we're like, hey, I think I should take all of Dean's lines, and Jensen should take all of Sam's lines. You know, changing Dean and Sam.
Because we were rehearsing it, we were running it, and we were kind of tripping over the dialogue a bit, and we were just like, what? Something's not right. And it was you. You were like, let's try something. And we've never ever done this, and haven't done it since. But he was like, you read all of Sam's lines as Dean, and I'll take all of Dean's lines, read them as Sam. Okay. So we tried it, and it just worked. And we're like, you know, the light bulb went off, and we went over to Bob and said, Bob, hey, what do you think?
One of our producer writers, to tell him, like, hey, you know.
We're going to completely change the entire scene and flip the dialogue. And, of course, he probably thought it was a joke.
Well, no, you had a serious look, but I was going, I don't how is this
Yeah,
going to
we're
work?
actors, Bob. We're actors.
So we went off into a corner, and they did it, and I heard it, and I said, yeah, that's right. You guys are absolutely right. We had to reblock a little bit, nothing terrible. But the idea, I think, that they're always in the moment like this and thinking about what they do, and also that I think they feel comfortable enough with the producing staff to come up and sort of want to make this honest change, and that we are comfortable enough with the actors to know that this is not about ego or anything else. This is just about making the show better. And the relationship that I think we all have is really special. And getting back to why I'm still here, I think is because these relationships are really dear to me, and I just appreciate every day that I can work on the show. So.
That's fantastic.
Again, I couldn't have said it better. I think it's we obviously, and I think y'all in the audience know this, as much as we tease the short one at the end, and we all truly enjoy each other as people. It's not fake, like, hey, let's go pretend to have a bite to eat so someone takes a picture and it looks like we're friends. We have legitimate friendship aside from working together, but that doesn't always translate onto the page or onto the screen or into the work environment. But I feel like, especially 13 years in, we have a lot of trust with each other. Like, if I feel like I remember a scene in Croatoan, season 2 or 1, and we were doing a scene where Sam had been infected and thought he was going to die, and for whatever reason, it hit Jared too hard, and I was like crying, way too far.
It was embarrassing, really.
It wasn't.
His face was
not,
just leaking.
But they weren't Sam's tears. And so Bob, I didn't realize at the time, I was like, man, I really broke down. Like, this is going to be a cool scene, because like I was legitimately just crying my eyes out. And Bob came up and just kind of like, I think he's like, hey, everybody, take 5 minutes, because it had stayed with me. And he kind of came in, he's like, hey, that was a great take. I want you to take a minute and just do it again and just dial it back a little bit, go there. No, but it wasn't like, and it was gentle and kind and honest as a director to go to an actor who just broke down and went like, that you clearly went somewhere, and it was touching, but that wasn't Sam. And he was absolutely right. And I was like, got it. And I think that's kind of when I was like, maybe you don't remember, maybe you remember it, but yeah, it was. I trusted him, just like he said. There's trust here. Aside from our personal friendship, there's a lot of I trust that they cared about the show and the characters. They know that Jensen and I cared about Dean and Sam. So.
Yeah, the show has become. The show's about family, but the show is a family. It's clear when you see it from the outside, when you visit as an actor, when you visit as a director, from the whole crew, from you guys all the way down the list, and in LA, it's a family, and it's a impressive thing to witness. Yeah. Truly is. And the other member of the family, by the way, the fans. So now let's take some, Bobby.
Yeah, let's open it up.
Let's take questions from the fans. All right, let's do it.
Hello. First, I wanted to say, love the show. My question isn't really a question. My daughter has social anxiety, which is why I'm speaking for her. But we just wanted to say thanks both to Jared, well, actually all you guys, for all the different, what's the word?
Charities.
and different,
Causes.
Thank you. Organizations that you guys have set up for people like me who can't talk, or her with her social anxiety. But I can see it from her or through her how she's grown just from the support that you give, even not knowing her personally. And then one side note, Misha, thank you for the donuts this morning. They were awesome.
Nice to meet you. What's your daughter's name?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, nice to meet you. That's very, very brave of you to stand up in front of thousands of people. Very proud of you.
But let's be honest, it's embarrassing to see Misha suck up that hard to the fan base. That's not going to change the outcome.
Each donut had, did you look at the wrapper? It said, please, if you take this donut, please tweet to Andrew Dabb to bring me back. It was actually a binding contract. If you take this donut, you have to send him hate mail until I come back.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
think
did
you
you
should
notice the
spending your money
billboard
on
coming into
donuts.
town? Save Castiel?
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Hi, my name's Emily. I'm a huge fan. I had a question about what was your favorite props, Jensen, Misha, and Jared, throughout the show. And yeah, I really love you guys.
Love you back. Thank
Favorite
you.
props throughout
Favorite
the show?
prop. Baby is not a prop. No. No, baby is a part of me. We get to play and use so many tools, weapons. I will say that one of the weapons that we play around with quite often, the Angel Blade, is one of my favorites because of the weight of it, and I just constantly am spinning it in my hand, and it kind of reminds me, it's the little, what are they called, fidgets?
Fidget spinners.
Fidget spinner.
It's the original
The
one.
original fidget spinner.
OG fidget spinner.
My favorite prop is Dean.
And that's why he's no longer with us.
I think the hair.
Yeah,
He does have he has the best toupee in the business. It
Man,
truly
look at it.
is.
Look at it.
I'm gonna say the Demon Blade, the Ruby's Demon Blade, not for obvious reasons. But there's another funny thing that I don't know if y'all know this. Some of y'all have maybe seen prop Demon Blade, which is kind of ironic, or maybe like saying Nile River or something. Or Sahara Desert. Sorry. So some of y'all have seen the replica Demon Blades, the Ruby's knife. It was actually put together incorrectly when it first got on camera. The handle is improperly, it's upside, the handle should be the backwards way compared to where the serration is and the blade is. And for some reason, I found that out early on, and it always occurs to me whenever I hold it, because when you hold it, there's scenes where I have to pull it out of my back pocket or something, and you put it in a certain way, expecting the handle to fit ergonomically a certain way, and then you pull it out, and the blade is facing me, and I'm like, I'm going to do that again. I switch it around, and then pull it out, and it's ready. But I really dig the Demon Blade.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Hi guys, my name's Amanda, and I saw that you were playing video games yesterday during press, and I was just wondering who won?
We didn't finish. They pulled us away before we could finish. It was the new Mario Kart, and I was winning, which is why I immediately left. You always leave in the lead. That's
Yeah, don't leave on a miss. He was winning. None of us had played it yet, and I think, in fairness, I took over Misha's controller when Jensen was winning, so I blame Misha for most everything, but specifically for yesterday.
Hashtag blame Misha.
Let's get that trending.
You?
Hi, my name is Bibiana,
And I wanted to ask, in the episode Yellow Fever, people died from their fears. So I was wondering, what would you die of, basically?
What fears do we have that we would die from? I don't have fear.
Bears.
I'm just kidding.
I guess for me it would be just being.
Dad went heart disease.
I mean, statistically speaking,
Liver
it's the most
failure.
likely.
For me, I think it would be just being like it's like a classic sort of fear, but it would be being up on stage with in front of a large number of people with my friends making fun of me.
In a little boy chair.
In a tiny, tiny chair.
Just a bunch of chairs collapse over on you.
I don't know
What fear would you die of?
No.
Wow. And he does this, and he didn't even get a donut. Bob Singer never got a donut.
Oh, this is. Oh, man, I tell you.
Bob, thank you.
Misha, you are so fired by accepting that gesture.
By the way, that's all for today, guys. Thanks.
You walked right into that. So fear, where'd you land on Padalecki? Where are you in the fear bit?
I don't know. I would say
Phobia?
this about 13 years ago, this probably would have killed me. This is not. I mean, we're up here talking and having a good time and making jokes, but it's daunting. I mean, there are a lot of people in this audience, and to get up and try to speak eloquently and not trip over your words or just not trip can be pretty frightening. So I've been able to face that and kind of get over it, and now I'm here, and there isn't much fear. But years ago, that certainly would have been one for me.
How about, Daddy, I think I'm in love. JJ, like first date, daughter's first date.
Right.
Yes. Boys in my daughter's life.
Yeah,
Fear number one.
I get that.
What is it? What is it? The guns don't kill people. Dads with pretty little girls kill people.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You.
Hi. I am going to be the last question, so I hope it's good. My name is Megan. This is Jensen.
Jensen.
And this is Baby.
Yes.
And so
Is Baby going to be named Baby? Please name Baby, baby.
possibly
How old is Jensen?
a year and a half.
Nice. Well, Bud, that name served me well. I hope it serves you well. What's his middle name?
Michael,
Michael.
Archangel. But
Of course.
I have to ask my question. They're yelling at me.
Okay, sorry. Question.
Which character do you feel would make the most interesting spin-off?
No. No, sir.
Well, we very much feel that we have some really, really strong female characters on the show. Jody Mills, Claire Novak, Donna Hanscom, and Alex Jones. And we feel they would make an extremely exciting addition to the Supernatural universe.
There we go. Gentlemen, here we are.
Here we are.
The end of yet another panel. San Diego Comic-Con.
Somebody literally goes, "What?"
Yeah,
It ends?
Certainly shocked.
I know. So,
Any parting words for the people gathered here today?
Yes. Thank y'all so much. And I think we've kind of touched on it before, but we exist like this because y'all exist like that. So this is 50-50 here. We're the ones on stage, but this is as much y'all as it is us. So thank y'all for giving us the chance to play these characters and tell this story.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you guys, everybody.
say hello and goodbye to Andrew Dabb,
Bob Singer,
Misha Collins,
Jared Padalecki.
and Mr. Jensen Ackles.